Hey guys, what's up? I just finished 4 months. I just completed a 4-month training program with CTS. I want to talk about it for a minute. I just recorded this video and it was 16 minutes long and I babbled on and on. So this is going to be the actual short version. I'm just going to get to the point. My FTP went up 6% from 241 to 256. My watts per kilogram went up 10% from 213 watts per kilo, 2.13 to 2.36. Both of those are pretty good. And, I feel like that's a pretty awesome improvement. What did I learn from this power training? Well, first off, my 5-second power, I've learned from my power meter and from training it, it's pretty good. I have about 1,300 watts, pretty close to 1,300 watt sprint for 5 seconds, and that puts me at about the top 90% of cyclists. So I feel like I could even go harder. I still don't feel like I've really shredded a sprint as hard as I can yet. My 20-minute power is okay. It's not great. It's pretty middle of the road. It's like 270 watts for 20 minutes, 256 FTP. Kind of puts me right in the middle of cyclists. Definitely not going to be entering too many Pro Tour races at that. And it's definitely not a very good FTP for a racer, and a terrible watts per kilogram because of my weight. So, other things I learned. Power intervals are best done inside. Road condition and safety. There's so many times where I nearly crashed. I had a flat tire because I ran some junk over the road, because you spend so much of your time staring at a power meter when you're trying to hold a certain power and a power interval. To me, power intervals, you really just ought to do them on a trainer. It's so much easier on Zwift, and I feel like you're going to get just as much out of doing them. And what else are you going to do instead of power intervals when you're riding indoors? So power intervals are great outside if you can just maybe stop staring at the power meter so much. Finally, my opinion of my CTS coach. So here's the thing. I got into coaching because we had that whole COVID thing in March, and I really wanted to take advantage. I thought it would be a short break. But I really thought, I'm going to take advantage of this. I'm going to really try to get the most out of this time off work and try to really focus on becoming a better cyclist and a stronger cyclist. And I really thought that I would take that March and April training and we would be free of COVID. I was sure we would be free of COVID in June, and I would go into this season just like kicking butt. And it turned out that the season was more or less canceled. Now, when I say season, I mean I'm talking about family fun rides and tough group rides. And I was thinking maybe about trying to find some races too this summer, but that didn't pan out. So anyway, my opinion of my CTS coach, she was an awesome listener. She's a great life coach. So when you talk, the best part about this is the 30-minute to an hour phone call we'd have once a week, Zoom meeting, whatever, and just her resources and her information and her depth of knowledge about cycling and all these. A lot of times she'd tell me these great stories, and it's funny to think, are you paying for a friend here? Well, kind of in a way, you're paying for a person who is almost like a cycling guru, and you're getting this hour of time with them, and that was pretty nice. So I really enjoyed the conversations. Really liked to get her opinion about things and what I could pull from that. Life coaching part, well, a lot of the conversations and her coaching stuff didn't always involve cycling, but just the rest aspects of your life that really do play a big impact. Are you getting enough sleep? Nutrition was huge. We talked a lot about nutrition, and just kind of general health and wellness and stuff like that, which is stuff I don't really think a lot about. She gave a lot of really good advice whenever I had questions or problems, but the truth was almost everything she said I'd heard before. I mean, information is out there. It's not like you have to go through magazines and stuff. You can just Google what you want to know and you're going to find it. So that's kind of maybe coaching would have been even more useful back in the day when information was harder to get, but now it's out there. And most of what she told me, I've heard that before, drink Gatorade an hour before a ride, or drink your fitness drink an hour before the ride, get preloaded. Well, a friend of mine had told me that right before I started coaching, and so, yeah. But coming from a coach still, you might take it a little more seriously, so that's nice to know. she gave me a solid training plan. The training plan, I always had a training plan. It was adaptable. It fit my needs. It worked for me. She kind of helped me, it kind of helped fit it in my schedule. And so the training plan, was very solid. But I never felt pushed. When you think of coaching, you think of somebody who's going to push you to new heights. And a lot of times I felt almost like the opposite of push. Like, take it easy, don't overdo it, don't hurt yourself, da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like, well, I was kind of almost wanting somebody to tell me the opposite. Go out and rip your legs off. And sometimes she would, I mean, it wasn't like it was always, but I never really felt like I was being pushed. And a lot of times, like if she would prescribe, 400 TSS per week, I would do 700. I would push myself. And, sometimes she would say, hey, you're going too hard, you need to back off. And maybe that really helped me. I don't know, but I just never felt like I was truly. And there were times I was really worn out. Don't get me wrong, but there was like only one time where she ever kind of said, "Hey," and that was because I was putting a little too much emphasis on kind of fun activities for a while. And I did some mountain biking when I had a day of like road power intervals to do, and the honest thing is like I'm training at this point so I can go be able to have fun and ride with my friends. So if I have an opportunity to have fun and go ride with my friends, why would I not do that? I'm training. I'm not training for races. They've all been canceled anyway, and I'm too fat to race. So next thing, I felt like it needed more variety. Now, I mean, I didn't know what to expect, but I kind of thought there would be some weird, goofy intervals, like some crazy things I hadn't thought of, like something only a coach would know. Like, go find a hill and, some kind of weird hill climbing intervals. I just expected more variety, more interesting stuff. And instead, it was very much just this focus on these kind of like very solid, steady power intervals. I was just starting to get into with her at the end of this, kind of into this 4th month, with some more like jump starts, like where you stop and then go hard, stuff like that. So I was just kind of starting in and getting some more variety. Maybe I quit before the variety was going to come up. I don't know. But I thought there was too much focus on this power, not enough focus on like speed. I mean, the results. Of course, speed, is kind of illusionary. Maybe you have a huge tailwind, whatever, you don't know. But also, bike riding isn't a power contest. You don't just say like who had the best power wins. So I kind of wanted maybe some more, more information or more something less just power. It was just power all the time. Okay. I kind of think maybe I was on the injured plan, or I was on a disabled person's plan or something. I don't know. Maybe I wasn't on I don't know what plan I was on. I was on my plan. She made it for me. But sometimes I oftentimes felt like it was maybe for somebody who had, and again, that makes sense because when I went into this, I told her I was worried I had heart issues. My left arm would go numb, and I'd have pain in my chest sometimes. So I'm sure that that's been a big part of this the whole time, worrying about is there something wrong with me? So I can't blame that. So final thoughts here. I'm sick of a power meter. I took my power meter off my bike. I have a power tap wheel. I've switched back to my lighter wheel, and I just enjoy riding more without it right now. Not to say I won't use it again, and I won't put it on there sometimes when I want to know my power, but I was just sick of looking at power. And the last thing here is I'm just ready to do my own thing. I want to go do what I want to do. I'm ready to just go ride. I want to ride with people. I want to go push myself on certain courses and not worry about power. And I just want to avoid flat, straight roads where I'm trying to pedal at like 175 watts for however many minutes. That just was getting really, really boring to me. Power training definitely has, I made some improvements. It definitely makes you a stronger cyclist, but it also kind of sucks the life out of cycling. And I think, a person, if they need to, if you're me and you're riding for fun, this isn't a job and nobody's paying me and I'm just doing this for fun. Training is great, but you probably don't need to do that much of it because it's going to get really boring and kind of suck the life and fun out of cycling for you. So would I do it again? Yeah, I would definitely do it again, but it would be definitely more of an indoor. Like maybe I would start in like late November, early December, and start really focusing more on indoor, because these power intervals, I mean, they're all indoor. I would love to just be able to continue like an hour conversation with the coach while I do my own thing and just talk what I did this week, and then she can give me feedback on it. Maybe do like one day of power intervals a week or something like that. But actually following this everyday training plan where every time I ride a bike, I'm supposed to do this, this, and this, that I don't know if I'd ever really want to do that again. So anyway, CTS coaching, definitely a great deal for coaching price-wise. And one of the best things about it is you don't have to put 6 months or even 3 months money out front. You can try it for a month. And it's one of the things, if you want to try it, it's definitely well worth it. I would say it's definitely, especially if you're like looking for something just different to shake up your riding, your training or whatever, it's really worth it. So, hey, thanks for listening. See you later.